Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old, to history, to anecdotes, to really wherever our whims take us. We've been following the Harley Quinn black, white, and red comic as it's been coming out. And by that I mean when I get to it. We are rarely on time with anything here, and it's part of the charm. That's what I keep telling myself, and the mind makes it real. This series is comprised of a set of unconnected chapters featuring different writers and artists' stories about Harley Quinn, a simple concept that can wield varying results. Chapter 1 and 2 were quite different from one another, and chapter 3 is different from both of them. They're also all 99 cents. Hashtag not spawn, I'm just excited. Affordability. Comics is an expensive hobby to have these days. Also, side note, all of these are formatted for digital, so they actually read better digitally than they probably will if they're collected into a trade. They are being released as digital first, and they're actually formatted for those types of screens. It's chapter 3 time, let's see another Harley. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join us on this comic book journey. There's no way of knowing where we are going, but we are certainly showing no signs that we are slowing. The cover is simple. Harley in a rebirth style costume brandishing a bat with the phrase smile and a happy face on it. There's a little grit, because there's a decent amount of blood splatter on her with all the black patterning. I appreciate that it is black and not red. Blood dries black or dark brown. Just ask Johnny, the homicidal maniac. So it's actually more striking seeing it in this way. In this case, if it were bright red, then it would overpower everything. Or it could just be a visual effect I'm reading too much into. Either way, it looks cool. This chapter is Get Your Story Straight, written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Javier Rodriguez. This story is an almost got 'em Lower Decks episode, not show style adventure. Or the ending of Clue. Or I guess the most accurate one would be like that P.O.V episode of Batman the Animated Series. This is in the fact that it's the same event told from a variety of perspectives, and a perspective you don't normally get. It's not any of the main characters' perspectives. In this case, it's a small group of crooks who robbed Harley Quinn, and they're all talking about it, but they all have a different version of events. So, how'd the job go? I see you got the goods. The goods are a bright red pot with a grinning Joker mouth on it that appears to be oozing some kind of gas. I don't need what's in the pot, but I love the pot and I want the pot. Where can I get a version of the pot? Can DC shut up and make this pot? I will give them my money. I want to serve guests in an off-putting Joker pot. So the crooks get some shots and start talking about the theft. I really like the patterning on how the title is introduced in this one. Red is a very subtle accent in this story, so when it's used, it pops a lot. She's in the same life as us.
Same as us. Did you see that dame's crib?
Dames. I admire this comic trying to keep the word dame alive. The whole comic book industry saying that dame has been used from the 1940s till now. Dames. So we enter our first recollection. Our three-man band go into Harley's lair, and it is extra. Playing cards, clown memorabilia, precariously stacked items to crush you upon your inevitable defeat.
Is she for real?
As real as a heart attack, Chuckles. And so Harley swoops in, classic costume and mallet on display, and she proceeds to whoop them clown style with pratfalls, pies, zany sound effects. You dummies chose the wrong girl to rob. But she is knocked out when the crook telling the story gets in a lucky hit, and they escape with the world's best crockpot.
You watch too many damn cartoons, Frank. That's not how it happened.
Here's how it really happened. Version 2. The hideout in this one is not full of whimsy or fun. It is an abandoned warehouse. And the Harley here is straight out of Suicide Squad, and her bat is studded like a mace. I'm cringing just looking at it. Ouch. This beatdown is a lot more brutal too, with brass knuckles and fishnets. If Black Canary has taught me anything, it's that fishnets make you about 10 times more dangerous. And itchy. You stupid You thought you could rob me? In this version, like the last, the crook telling the tale is also the one to knock her out. Because, I mean, if you're telling the story, you might as well give yourself maximum cred. Finally, it's the last goon's turn.
The truth of the tale is much stranger.
Okay, so this guy is tripping the light fantastic. He is riding a white horse and other outdated drug slang that I know. Look at his eyes. He's on the good stuff.
We lads? Egad.
Something wrong, boys? His version of Harley is a 1930s style madcap character with a loose art style, very reminiscent of Spinell from the Steven Universe movie, but with the new 52 Harley costume. This section is almost as off the wall as some of those 1930s cartoons, where they too were on the good stuff. They were just dropping all kinds of things and drawing. Those old cartoons are a special kind of madness, especially when we're in the pre-censorship era, just the things happening. Harley eats all of them, before our storyteller is given a mallet by the Cheshire Cat, which he uses to knock out Harley and grab the pot. What in tarnation is wrong with y'all? I sent you three to nick the crate of custom Joker gas from his ex-gal. I'm guessing you varmints got a whiff of that gas and it's made you all goofy.
Who hired them? Yosemite Sam?
Tarnation. And so Harley emerges. There had been panels showcasing that she was lurking, listening. She followed them back to see who had hired them. And now this version is pitched as the real her. The rebirth version, and so the real beatdown begins. I really can't let you have that gas. I'm holding on to it because you never throw out all your ex's stuff.
You don't?
Porque?
I've been doing it wrong.
But I ain't gonna let it hit the streets. It's nasty. How did she sneak up on them when her choker had bells on it? Did she take the balls out so it's silent? She must have. Gotta go, boys. Toodles. And make sure you get this story straight, huh? And so she leaves, walking past all the versions of herself we saw, which have been worked into the environment in some fashion. And that was chapter 3. I always appreciate stories told from other perspectives, even if they're nameless goons. Different art styles and costumes on Harley were fun, and it was just a cute Clue-esque romp. It's not a long read at all, like this is very quick. It's also not very deep, but it's not supposed to be. It's an exercise on the whole get your story straight. Really, there's not much to say about it. It sets out with a simple goal and it achieves it. When you're doing simple, you have to do it well and hit all the beats you want to. And I think this does. Harley Quinn 4 ways. All subtly different, but with that connecting thread of madness. Again though, unless you were really impressed by the art, or if you haven't seen this type of story very much and this really stuck out to you, it might not be something that stays with you. I can see some being like, meh, don't need it. What did you think of chapter 3? Was the concept strong enough to compel you? Or was it a swing and a miss? Let me know down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.